Let's face facts. Children are stupid. I don't mean that in a mean way either. I'm not saying your kid is stupid. I'm saying they all are. It's a wonderful thing, really. A big reason why a lot of things soar over a young person's head is because of the beauty of innocence. When you're a child, you just take everything at face value and don't waste time looking deeper into things. You're too busy burying your head in mud, for reasons that will never be explained. That does mean, however, when you grow up and revisit some classic films from your youth, well, that innocence is going to be ripped open, poured out and destroyed. I'm Simon from What Culture. This is 10 movie scenes everyone misunderstood as a kid. Number 10, murder in Home Alone 2. Pretty hysterical how much Kevin McAllister kicks Harry and Marv's asses in Home Alone 2, right? With the little rugrat now lost in New York, he takes it on himself to stop the terrible duo with all manner of wacky antics. Marv takes a brick to the face, is electrocuted, and lands on his skull constantly. And Harry is set on fire almost every 10 minutes at one point. It's hilarious. Only it isn't, because when you're an adult, there's only one thing to be taken away from this. It's attempted murder. The brick especially is obscene. Kevin throws that off the top of a 6-story building and smashes Marv directly into the forehead. I don't care who you are, you're done for. That's the point though. As a kid, this is just silly stunts, but as a fully formed being, it's just brutal. Number 9, full-on sex in Dennis the Menace. Well, it's not full-on sex. I don't know why I said that. But when Dennis tells Mrs. Wilson that the only time his dad isn't happy is Sunday morning when him and Mum like to be alone to wrestle, there's only one way to take it. And if you're in any doubt, it's punctuated with, and then they start to make funny noises. As a kid, sure, whatever. That sounds like a fun activity, but we adults can take away 2 things from this. 1, Dennis's parents are doing it, and 2, they really need to invest in a lock, because clearly their son has way too many details about what they get up to. Number 8, the Toy Story prostitute. It's pretty obvious to both the young and old that Toy Story Sid is a little screwed up, but there's far more than meets the eye in his range of disfigured toys. The most eye-browsing of these is Legs, a fishing rod whose legs are that of a girl's doll. Sure, that's weird and all, but in reality, Legs is a hooker. Sexy legs, fish hook, get it? It's actually very witty on behalf of Pixar, and is so niche that some adults miss it as well. But it's there. Number 7. Patty cake is sex for cartoons in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Eddie, played by Bob Hoskins, sees Marvin Acme and Jessica Rabbit playing, as he dubs it, patty cake. And as we also see this from his perspective, along with pictures in the next scenes of them playing patty cake, why would you think anything else? The only real question is why Roger Rabbit was so upset about the whole thing. It is, of course, because the two were doing the horizontal bop. Or sex. They were having sex. It may never be outwardly shown, but there's more than enough innuendo here, in particular that Jessica makes moaning noises throughout.
Patty cake, patty cake, patty cake, patty cake, patty cake, patty cake.
You gotta be kidding me.
As a kid, there's literally no reason to question any of this. It is what it is. A lovely game between 2 friends. Get a little older though. Number 6, the pain of adulthood in Up. The start of Pixar's Up is horrendous. Honestly, if you haven't seen it, never watch it if you've recently lost a loved one. Good grief, it's hard. But while the beautifully shot montage at the start of the movie seems like a wonderful look at the life between Carl and Ellie, or at least that's what you take away from it when you're younger, the older mind is greeted as something else entirely. Aside from the horrible realization that Eddie is now alone, you also learn that the two weren't able to have kids, Ellie fell into a depression because of that, and life's general mishaps got in the way of their planned visit to Paradise Falls. It's genuinely heartbreaking, and returning to it with the added context will make even the most hardened individual cry. Damn you, Pixar. Number 5. Dumbo is totally wasted. Hey kids, when Dumbo drinks that bubbly liquid and starts hallucinating, he's off his face, or drunk, bamboozled, zonked. The film itself even refers to it as water for the younger audience, but it's clear as day to any adult that the two have got drunk. Disney may treat that as if they just dropped some acid. Still, you just take it for what it is as a kid, and that's exactly what you should do. But eventually, that penny is gonna drop. Number 4. Johnny is smoking weed in The Karate Kid. Movies aimed at children follow many of the same tropes, a big one being that bad people smoke. It's the same in The Karate Kid when Daniel sneaks up on Johnny and sees him licking and rolling up some paper, preparing to stick it in his mouth. Daniel-san is a true hero, however, so hoses his would-be enemy down. It is not a cigarette though, it's weed, made painfully clear when Johnny literally twists the joint when he's done, which means Daniel now owes Johnny some serious cash. Number 3. All of Woody Allen in Ants. The trick to any kids movie is making sure there's a thing in there for adults too. If mum or dad is going to be dragged along to the cinema, it's important to entertain them so they feel like coming back next time. Ants took that idea and really ran with it. Anytime Woody Allen Z is on screen, he goes on huge rants that only a grown person is going to understand. Kids may laugh at his quick and fast-paced delivery, but topics such as a difficult childhood, claustrophobia, wanting more from life and anxiety are not aimed at those under 16. The older generation will appreciate it, mind. Probably half agree. Number 2. There's a condom in The Mask. At one point in The Mask, Jim Carrey refutes a gang of would-be muggers by turning into a balloon animal artist. You know, that old gag. As he starts to wow them with his skills, he even hands one of them a quite fetching giraffe, he whips out a wet condom from his pocket. A wet condom! Literally any child that sees this doesn't even blink. At worst, it's just a faulty balloon. For adults, it's almost a moment of shock. How the hell did a used sex device make it into a PG movie? Funny though. Number 1. Everything Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump is just one big bag of sadness and heartache, and not one kid in the audience even understands. They just think it's funny he's got weird legs. For the more evolved, however, you see Forrest's mother have sex with a principal to keep her son in school, are well aware that Jenny is being molested by her father, see Mr. Gump suffer from premature ejaculation, and go full in with the ramifications of the AIDS virus. Not bad for a film kids are allowed to see, but it's all really rather harrowing. Know of any other movies that have a totally different meaning when you grow up? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. You can even come hang out with me on Twitter at SimonMiller316. I'm Simon from What Culture, and I'll chat to you again soon.